What's going on, people? Welcome to 137 Works, and today we are having a look at this thing. This is the Tesla Roadster Sport from 2011. It is basically the sportier version of the Tesla Roadster, which is apparently like the world's first production electric sports car, essentially. It might look familiar. It's essentially an electric Lotus Elise. I'm not sure if the exact same guy who did the Elise or the, what is it called? The Exige, certain models, designed the Roadster as well, but they are very, very similar. I think it looks gorgeous. I think it looks really, really cool. Quite as nice as an Elise. I think an Elise is just a bit nicer than this, but it looks very cool. Electric, so I'm so excited to hear how that sounds, honestly. Funny as that may sound. A lot of people feel like it won't sound like anything, but I'm sure, hopefully, if it's a good mod, it's got some decent, like, electronic battery whine sounds or whatever. Yeah, so according to Content Manager, we are looking at 290 wheel horsepower, 400 Newton meters of torque, and it weighs 1,237 kilos. So again, conversion's always going to be on the screen there for you if you're not familiar, but yeah, that's pretty nuts. That's a lot of power, a lot of torque for not a very big car, not a very heavy car, and obviously going from an electric motor, so you'd imagine it should just pick up and go. But yeah, we're going to get into it. So as you may or may not know, what happens next, we're going to have a little montage of some beauty shots of nice angles of the car. We are then going to have a VR test on it, so obviously VR. Gonna have a look around the cockpit, see what it looks like. It looks pretty good from the outside, but earlier on in this recording session I did the flip car and that looked great in Content Manager, and then you get in and quite literally everything's black. Like all the textures are missing, all the reflection is missing, it's just a black void. So hopefully it's not that's not the case with this. But yeah, basically VR test, have a look around, make sure everything's good. The sound test, we're gonna hear what the sound is, if there is any. Like I doubt they just left it quiet, so, or left it completely blank, so hopefully not. Hopefully there's a like good high quality electric engine noise kind of thing. And then finally, yeah, lap of the Nürburgring, going Nordschleife, not going for any crazy lap times or anything like that, just trying to see how the car drives on a completely blind first time test. So let's get into it. Okay, so here we are inside the Tesla Roadster Sport, and it looks pretty good. I have to say, it did look good from the outside. I was hopeful. I had high hopes, but yeah, it looks very, very good. I'm just going to stick on my headphones here, just real quick. Yeah, like everything looks nice. It's got maybe not necessarily ambient occlusion, but everything just looks kind of like nice and shadowed and detailed. Yeah, like not great, not the best I've ever seen, but pretty decent, pretty good, alright. Let's go and see. It does have some little quiet noises, so let's see what we have. Yeah. So yeah, as you can hear, it has that electric kind of whine. So they didn't just leave it with like a complete blank sound, like, which is good, because obviously even electric cars do have a sound, it's just not the nice sound that we're used to from combustion engines. On the outside, let's see. It's not the best sound in the world. You can hear definitely that it's like a fake generated sound. It doesn't sound the most realistic or whatever like that. Like as far as like literally the sound file or whatever that, you can tell that it's like stretching samples. Like if you've ever seen like a car audio mod being made, basically how it's done, you can tell that that's the case here. But it's better than just leaving it blank. But without further ado, let's take the 2011 Tesla Roadster out for a lap of the Nordschleife and see how we get on. So it's a nice place to be, I have to say. Obviously only has the one gear, that's going to be something I need to remember. Yeah, it looks cool, like seeing the back quarter panels and the mirrors there. Nice view through the rear view mirror. You can't see obviously any batteries or engines. I was going to say you can't see the engine, but duh. And then looking over the bonnet, you've got the nice shape of the front arches and stuff, but let's go, foot down, let's see how we go. And it is weird, it's a slow build up, but you do eventually get up there. We are now basically maxed out at about 125. Yeah, the brakes go, not too bad. Runs in nicely. Oh, it's a weird experience though. Ooh. Oh, we've spun. It's spins the wheels nice and easily. All that torque from the electric motor you'd expect as such. Oh god. Yeah, it's weird. Like, I'm used to using like engine and gears and like that kind of stuff to be able to judge like when I should be braking and accelerating and changing gears if you can, which obviously you can't in this case. But it feels good though, I have to say. It feels nice. Yeah, it's just hard to judge everything as far as like, oh, acceleration, braking points, turning points and that kind of thing. We're gone. We are gone. That rules out my invitation from Elon to try out his next sports mod, like the Roadster 2 prototype. But yeah, definitely interesting, definitely different, definitely worth trying, I would say. It's so strange. It's so strange. I have no idea how long that was like that for. I hope it wasn't in front of the camera for too long. I just wanted to actually be able to see where I was going heading up over floodplains. There's a weird thing with the sound where you can almost hear it looping over itself. I am just going to ease off because I've got no idea what to expect up here, but... Yeah, I'm just being quiet there to see if you could hear that. Can you hear that? I don't know if that's a real thing with electric engines. I don't think it is. I think that might just be a bad, like the sound file isn't the best in the world, where it's only got a short loop and it's just looping over itself. But yeah, as we... Ooh, it's... Do you know what it is? I think I've cracked what's so strange about it is you have no idea of the concept of the speed without looking down at the like the speedo in front of you, or obviously the AC app there. You have no idea just how fast you're actually going. Like, at least with a real car, you can tell, okay, oh yeah, I'm like cruising along at the higher revs or whatever. This is just like, yeah, I'm doing A speed. Like 126, 127, maybe? No, 126. And then trying to gauge your braking and stuff like that. Based on missing that information, it's very hard. I understand that this is not the most enjoyable app to watch, I'm sure, as a viewer. It's that hard. And again, as I always try to say, it's not about my driving ability, it's about how the car is to drive for the first time for someone who's like middle of the road, above or below average, depending on the day. But yeah, it's weird. It does understeer quite a bit, and then you have to try and correct it. And then you've got oversteer. It's gone again. Like, it's not actually... I'm trying to decide whether it's me just being bad or if it's the car. Like, I expected this because it looks like an Elise. I expected it to kind of handle like one, and it just doesn't. Like, the brakes aren't all that great, and like, look, you're gone. Like, it just wouldn't turn in. It just went straight into oversteer mode. I don't know if that's just because the tires are cooked. They shouldn't be, because I don't think that I have tire like wear or anything like that, or heat enabled or whatever. See, look, oversteer. We've saved it a bit. We have saved it more or less. No, we haven't, have we? No. Like, I'm literally spinning every corner. Like, this can't be me, surely. Like, I know that sounds ridiculous. Like, oh, look how highly he thinks of himself. Like, no, it's not. As I said, I'm not the worst driver in the world, but I'm definitely not the best driver. Look, it's just gone. Maybe I'll just ease off for a bit. Maybe the tires are somehow cooked. Just give it a little second to gather its composure. Like, I'm not the best driver in the world, but like, good lord. Like, it shouldn't be spinning out literally every second corner. Right. Let's see now we go from here. Lift off oversteer, not what you want. Still doing 70, but you'd never be able to tell, because how could you? Like, and it's gone again. This is terrible. Like, I'm fully willing to accept that it's me if it's me. I just don't think that it's me. Like, I've made it around this track plenty of times without going off at literally every second corner in plenty of other cars. Now, you can argue, am I driving this car how it's supposed to be driven, or am I driving it based on how I think it's meant to be driven? I could be driving it based on how I think it's meant to be driven. I think that it should be turning in when it should. I think that it should be not over, like lift off oversteering. But, you know, that's just me. Like, I thought you'd be able to trash it a lot more than you seem to be able to. I thought it was going to be like an Elise or an Exige where you can just drive the kind of nuts off it, but it doesn't seem to be the case here. You have to kind of brake earlier than you'd think, brake harder than you'd think, turn in. Like, what is this? What is happening right now? Like, yes, this was a nice and sexily controlled slide, and I love it as a drifter at heart, but like, I just want to make it around a fairly simple corner. Let's see how it handles. No, it doesn't. Oh, that's bad. Only the second car in this series ever to spin out on the Northside, or on the carousel, if I'm not mistaken, after the Yaris, after the GR Yaris recently. I always forget that this is flat out, or in most decent cars it's supposed to be. It's here where you have to be a bit careful. Oh, oh God. Again, I think the issue, I'm trying to work it out in my head as I'm driving. I think it's just that I don't realize that I'm going as fast as I'm going. So I expect it to do, I just expect different things out of what's actually given to me, because I'm not noticing that I'm going as fast as I'm going. Like, maybe I'm getting oversteer into corners, because in my head I'm only, like, I'm not going that fast, but realistically I'm going 85, 90 miles an hour, like, into these fairly sharp corners. That could be it. That could be what's causing it. But that makes you drive in a way that I don't enjoy driving. Like, I like to drive on the limit as much as possible. Like, having to brake and let off, accelerator. Just goes wide. Like, how was that? Like, there was no warning or alert that was going to go wide there. Hello, YouTube corner. Customary mistake. Yeah, like, look at that. Like, what is that? I'm doing again, but again, I look down. I'm doing 60 miles an hour apparently. Like, I hate these episodes where I spent a lot of the lap complaining about the car, because obviously, ideally, I want the car to be great and the lap to come out good, but I don't want to come across as a whiny little bitch about the car kind of thing. But sometimes it just, what can you do when you're literally spinning out on every second corner? Like, it's not good entertaining lap, I don't think, anyway. And as a result, I don't think it makes for the best video in the world, unless you just like it for the comedy factor of watching me spin out, which I can totally see the appeal of. But yeah. It's almost as if it makes you drive like, it drives you. You're driving faster than you think you are. Then the brakes can't match up with the speed that you don't realize that you're doing. Like, if that makes sense. Second carousel, does it spin like the Yaris? No, at least the Yaris. At least this is only spun at one of the carousels, so it has that over the Yaris. And as we open it up around the last corner, well, I say open it up, I'm gonna ease off because I'm just frightened. Like, now as we finally open it up around the last corner, see what kind of speed we can do. One last fog check. Good lord, I do apologise for this. Oh, no speed because I went off crash. Yeah, 125, it seems to be about all she's got. So, slightly disappointed in the Tesla Model S. So, slightly disappointed in the Tesla Roadster Sport. Yeah, it just didn't. That didn't go anything like I'd expected it to. Had fairly high hopes for it, and it did not live up to them. Now, who's to say if I didn't spend another hour driving the car on this track, I would work out all its little nuances, but that's not the point of this video. The video is a blind test, first time, first try. That's all it gets, just like every other car. And yeah, I have to say, like I said early in the lap, before I realised that it was just going to frustrate me a bit, it's worth a try. If you're a better driver than me, you might be able to tame it a bit better, which is very likely, obviously, being that I'm so like that I'd be such a fairly average driver. But yeah, just didn't really live up to the hype. Like, looks cool, nice place to be in, doesn't feel bad per se. Like the feedback to the steering wheel and all that kind of stuff is there. It's just the actual handling characteristics of it, and like the speed, like just yeah, that sense, the lack of a knowledge of the speed that you're doing, that kind of stuff, just weird, very strange overall. Not necessarily bad. I did give out a lot about it, but I wouldn't say bad, just weird and different, and I could put some time into working out the weird nuances of it, but I won't do that just now. For now, I will just say thank you for watching. If you notice that I'm wearing it in the complete same setup as the previous video, I'm just knocking out 2 or 3 of them while I can, while I've still got this light and this decent setup going. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. Sorry it was a moany one, and like, because I do realize, like, yeah, not the most ideal thing to listen to a guy moan and complain about the car for 10-15 minutes. Yeah, if you enjoyed it, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here. Thanks for watching.